subscribe. Hey y'all, I'm reacting to another video courtesy of Cheeksland headquarters, and let's just get into it.
We've been in this business for as long as we have, and we are women and we are Latinas, and the pressures of our families like, okay, mija, so, you know, when are you gonna make me a grandmother? Average age of women having kids in 2021, it was 26 years old, but for fathers was actually 31. And if we take it way back in 1990, it was 24 years old. And then in 1970, it was 21.
Yeah.
In major cities where many women are seeking careers, the average age of a woman having her first kid is 32 years old.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, because we both passed that age, we are both 30 plus on the heavy on the plus.
Well, I made my 40 already, so I'm fine with it. I'm okay with saying my age because I don't look my age, and I think it's definitely a mentality thing. Although biologically inside, my ovaries ain't, you know, they like, yo, 40.
My brothers, in the book of the chief.
Let me pause it for a second, y'all. It's one thing to wait, but when you wait too long, that's just, come on. I think it's to do more than just a career. I think at that point, you're pretty much becoming vain. You know, you start to feel yourself a little too much, you know, thinking that people won't see you the same if you don't look this pretty in the mirror, or if you don't look this pretty to the public. All kinds of stuff, man. It's more to it than that. But let me tell you something, though. Love ain't enough sometimes, you know. So if you choose your career over your family for a certain point in time, then okay. But if you start hitting the late 30s and 40s, you might want to hurry up and try to find somebody. Depending on your health, how much you've taken care of yourself, then you should be fine. But if you didn't take care of yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to birth children, ladies. So be mindful of that. Let's go.
Of divine intervention, verse 444, it states, when a man acquires his wealth and he gets to his bag, he dreams of giving his woman the world, anything she desires. She has the world in the palm of her hands. But when a woman gets the bag, she's strong and she's independent, and she doesn't need a man. Stay woke, kings. This is why men do not care about a woman's pot of gold.
Because you're not going to share with us anyways.
And a specific group of...
My thing is, I don't really care about her having her own finance. Here's what I care about is she going to be able to take care of children? Is she going to be able to take care of home? Does she cook? Things like that. If you're a hardworking man, it's almost nothing worse than a woman who will not cook for you. And if she refuses to cook for you, it shows how much she cares for you. It shows how vain she is, how narcissistic she is. You got to be very careful for women like that. Just matter of fact, test a woman. Ask her, hey, babe, you know, can you cook me something to eat? You know, I'm tired. I can't do it today. Just, especially when you first start a relationship, just see where her mind is at, what type of woman she is, and check her pedigree. Always check somebody's pedigree. Let's keep going.
Men who are constantly asking women what do they bring to the table. Let me remind you, we live in 21st century. In this generation, a lot of women are able to own their own home, cars, even have a better credit than most men. And maybe this is an American culture, because in most countries, in other places, if you ever ask a woman what does she bring to the table, trust me, my darling, you might die single.
You might die single.
Before you ask a woman what does she bring to the table, make sure you have one.
To all you career-oriented ladies, to all you women's right activists, listen very carefully. We are about to time travel 20 years into the future of this woman's life. Fellas, let's all jump into the hot tub time machine together. On a count to 3, everybody jump. 1, 2, 3, jump!
years later.
I'm just so desperate for a husband, and there's a lot of pressure around me. So, if you can deal me and propose, I swear I'll behave and I'll marry you immediately.
Yo, I watched that video, bro. It's so sad, man. That video is almost like such desperation. But look, that's all by design, though. We talked about this other videos that I've shared. We talked about feminism and the banking system and things like that, and why things are geared toward how it is. It's for a reason, y'all. So don't get just manipulated by the videos that you watch. Peep game. You gotta pay attention. You gotta study. You have to study. A lot of people, a lot of women specifically, don't like a man who is well studied. A lot of women don't. They want to party. They want to go out here and buy the next Birkin bag. They're influenced heavily by what's put out there, which is junk. And as long as you continue to consume, you consume yourself to death. It's a very simple concept, people. There's no games that are going to be played. These elite do not care about you. They're going to get rid of you first. And we see this with the little pokes that they want us to get constantly. Let's go.
I'll wash your clothes, I'll cook for you, I'll have you.
Oh my gosh! Gee willikers. I feel so bad. I wish I could do something. But she's strong and she's independent. I think she's got this.
Children, and I'll be obedient.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll miss your wife because that's what you guys want.
Ooh, maybe not. And a woman also be like, oh, I don't need a man. I can change and fix my tires all by myself.
Excuse me, ma'am. Okay, that's great. I just want to let you know that your tire's flat.
Will you mind helping me?
Yo, something like this happened to me when I was working at Walmart, except all I did was say, matter of fact, I didn't even say anything. I walked by a lady. She said, oh, I don't need anything. I'm like, what the? Like, I didn't even ask you anything. Just because she was attractive, she automatically assumed I was going to say something to her. No, I just walked right past you, ma'am. I didn't say one word. That gets on my nerves, too. Let's keep playing this.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Get your fucking boyfriend to do it.
This is a certified hood classic.
To this day! To this day!
If we look at the modern woman today, they have more rights than ever before, but yet they are more miserable than ever before. See, every woman in America wants to be a feminist. There are three things that the modern woman wants. They want the privileges of a woman, the authority of a man, but yet the accountability of a child. And fellas, you know what's even worse than that? A male feminist. Jesus fucking Christ.
I am Dominic Roberto, and I am the president of my school's Feminism Club. Yes, the Feminism Club.
Ha! Gay!
I imagine that there's a mixture of opinion in the audience. Some guys might be thinking that I'm a genius. I surround myself with girls on a daily basis. Okay. Other guys, though, might be thinking that I'm definitely gay as a result of this.
Listening to this young man speak, I've came to a realization. I've came to a conclusion that this motherfucker probably holds the Guinness World Record for being friend-zoned by the most women. For God's sakes, it is literally impossible for a man who was raised right to be a male feminist. Every time I hear a guy say, oh, I'm a women's rights activist, I'm a male feminist, I'm just like, come on, bro. That is the most pathetic, most despicable, most limp dick way to try to get some pussy. Like, On the first date, his whole game plan was, oh, let me just agree with her. Maybe she'll touch the tip. Maybe she'll give it a...
It's almost like when you see dudes like that, you remember that scene in Coming to America where he was like, what do you like? She's like, whatever you like. No woman wants a man like that. Men, or should I say women, like men who can lead, take charge. Imagine going out with a man and he doesn't know how to make decisions, and you constantly got to make it for him. You don't take charge. That's uncomfortable to a woman. So a dude who's a male feminist who wants to constantly agree with what a woman wants to do and constantly go along with just to get along and get whatever it is out of her that he can, it's not going to work. Be your own man. And being a male feminist, that's goofy.
Couple sucks. Maybe she'll play with my pee-pee.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
This beta male, he lives to appease everyone's feelings instead of living by his own core values. And as a man, you only got two things. That is your word and your ball sack. This beta male cannot be trusted and he cannot be depended on. If I was the dictator of the United States of America, this motherfucker will be the first to be eliminated. My first love broke my heart for the first time, and I was like... Because every time I think of a male feminist, I think of a hairy vagina that smells like a tuna casserole that he probably bleeds from once a month.
Why would you say that?
Fix it.
Why would you say that?
I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to say that, but I just don't give a fuck. Because the majority of feminists, they want to be treated like men. But if you really listen to them and if you study them, they really don't. Because they only want the good stuff about being a guy that benefits them. My Asian sister from another mister, can you come and preach to the gospel for us?
Feminism is the worst thing that ever happened to women. Our job used to be no job.
Is she pregnant? Okay.
We had it so good. All these women had to show off and be like, we could do it. We could do anything. Bitch, shut up. Don't tell them the secrets.
And here is the biggest problem with many feminists.
I'm not attracted to bare minimum, zero effort, no money, garbage guzzling, fucking non-romantic, dirty, smelly, sweaty men. It just doesn't fit my plot.
I love how men on my page always love to say how entitled I am for having standards. And then they proceed to use the same thing all the time. They say, men build buildings. What would you guys do without men? We build buildings and bridges and buildings. I'm like, what building have you built? Except on Minecraft in your mother's house. Because you're such a treasure.
Many women today, they're so used.
Dude in the background, he's like, man, she ain't talking about nothing. Let me just keep cooking my food. He ain't even paying attention to her.
To having one-sided arguments because many men are afraid to speak up. But bitches, time has changed because we have men in the manosphere like Kevin Samuels, aka the feminist slayer.
I think those black guys are gonna try to save us.
He is not afraid to speak up about unpopular opinions because the majority of women, they want a traditional man to provide and protect. But none of these creep gobblers do not even know how to be a traditional woman because in the name of the cheat slang collaborations, it states the more tattoo she has and the more masculine she is and the longer the lashes, my brother, the more body she catches.
Let's be very, very, very clear, okay? I had a lot of fun in my 20s.
That's a fact on them tattoos. You start seeing a lot of these women with a lot of tattoos. I'm telling you, once they start getting them on the front and the back of their legs, they've been stripping, prostituting, or really out here just messing around with a lot of dudes and not caring about what goes on with their body. I'm telling you, it's not a joke out here with them tattoos. But that looked like a filter on that girl, but I'm not sure. It might have been a filter though.
A lot of fun. I was on a hit TV show.
Yes.
I was doing my damn thing. I had a lot of fun in my 20s for many
with
years.
them legs and them toes out.
My 30s, I was more selective with what I was happening, and I'm very selective going forward.
In Cheek Slang Prometheans 694, it states, if she opens up her legs for the whole world to smash and see, she's not gonna get a relationship out of me. Because many feminists complain about, oh my God, being a woman is so hard. Stop it.
Seriously, a nutless monkey could do your job.
A nutless monkey can do your job because women, they are born with inherent value. But men, we have to earn it. And here's the biggest problem with many feminists. Writing articles in air conditioning, privileged societies, bitching and mansplaining.
I hate men. Like, I hate men. If there's a hate club for men, I want to join it. I want to be in it because I hate men. There's just nothing about them at all that I like. I hate them.
While this cream gobbler sits at home, bitches, complains, and moans with her saggy tits, when other women in different countries...
She don't hate men. You know what she hates? She hates the fact that a man can make her love a man so much that she begins to kind of sort of hate him because she loses focus on what she was supposed to do. And while she's putting so much energy into this man, she got distracted and lost herself in the middle of it. That's why you say you hate men. Ladies, get a hold of yourself. That makes no sense. Let's keep going.
Countries that actually need the outside help. I've seen women in third world countries working manual labor jobs along with men, beside men, to support their families. Those are the real women. Those women are the real MVP, not some American feminist, a 300-pound gorilla complaining about any inconvenience that they find on social media. See, here's the biggest problem with feminists. They look at men as if they are a buffet. They can pick and choose whoever they want. See, these women, they have these unrealistic dating expectations that they put on men. And guess who's the most affected? Woman, because accountability is a woman's kryptonite. Have a look at this.
If you think that a man has to buy you dinner to be worth your time, you are entitled in my books.
You know what happens to us after years in the dating world? We grow wiser. We may say, oh, I wish I had done things a little differently, but we start to develop standards that prevent us from encountering those same situations that caused us pain. Because that's all we can do. We can't go back and fix the past, but we can put measures in place to protect ourselves in the future. You have to understand that so many women have been fooled by this illusion of effort when it comes to men. And so some women do get to a point where they realize that a man can fake an emotional investment, and so they start to require a financial one in the form of dinner or a meal. Doesn't mean she thinks she's above a rose and a walk in the park, but maybe she's taken one too many walks, all with the wrong outcome. And she has a right to demand more as evidence of interest in hopes of pursuing the right one. But you also have to understand something else. Too many women have found themselves in situations with men who only want to see them in a private setting. So when a woman is trying to navigate the difference between someone who's trying to use her sexually versus someone that wants to seriously date her, keeping it behind closed doors or outside of the public eye does absolutely nothing to indicate that man's intentions long term. And I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with this. Because this is the that makes women hesitant to have standards. And more importantly, this is what makes them uncomfortable upholding them. It's this fear of being called high maintenance. And I notice that he can bounce from side to side sometimes, so my point is this. You can't tell women to not lower their standards and know their worth, and then criticize them for having them like it somehow makes them less desirable. We are constantly being told to pick better men, and yet when we put measures in place to try and filter them out, we're ridiculed for being too demanding or hard to please. So just a different perspective, because maybe it's not about entitlement, and it's about gauging true intentions instead.
Did you guys hear that? That is absolute blasphemy. See, most feminists, they view men as an all-you-can-eat buffet because they only select what's good and what benefits them. Feminists be like, oh, we want the same hourly pay as men. Oh, we'll take some of that. Oh, the man can pay for the date. He can pay for the movie tickets, no problem. May the cheap slang fathers ascend down from the gates.
Let me comment on what she said, though. No, I mean, dudes, you don't have to always buy a woman dinner. Create a setting to where y'all can go to the park where it's still daylight. It might be maybe 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, but it's still daylight. Create a picnic. You know, do something romantic. You don't have to spend money like that. You can actually have a decent date that probably costs $60 or less without having to go to a restaurant. You ever thought about that? Be creative if you don't want to buy her food. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be courting a woman, especially if you're looking to bear a seed with that woman. So, yes, you should pay. Don't get it twisted. Quit having a backwards mentality. There are women who are going to be opportunists who want to just get a meal. They'll be on the phone with their girl, be like, yeah, girl, I'm about to go out with this dude. I really don't like him, but guess what? I'm going to get it. You know, I'm going to get something to eat because, you know, I don't get paid till first. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, man, there's going to be chicks who are opportunists who do that. But at the end of the day, come up with creative ways in order to date differently so that you won't have to come out of your pocket like that if you don't want to spend. That's common sense. Let's get back.
And enlighten us and bless us with the cheek slaying declaration of independence. According in the prophetic cheek pounding dimensions, it states all women want equality. Until the bill at dinner comes, then all of a sudden she wants to be Stevie Wonder. Isn't she lovely? Because they can't see the bill for shit. And some feminists, they be like, oh my God, why do we not get the same pay as men? Well, sweetheart, allow me to explain. So let's hypothetically say that me and you were in a building together. Then all of a sudden, a fucking terrorist decides to crash a plane into the building. And for some fucked up reason, the kids and the woman will be evacuated first, while the men have to stand behind singing Kumbaya and wait for this airplane to blow us up into smithereens. Where are all the feminists in a house fire, while all the men have to stay behind and get scorched to a fucking crisp? See, that's why men make that $2.50 an hour. See, I'm not saying women should not get the same pay as men, but if you want to make as much as I make, I just ask you, when we are on the Titanic together, just stand next to me while we sit to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
Perfect.
I just asked you, if you want to make the same pay as me, when we are in a house fire together, just stand next to me and we can get scorched to a fucking crisp together.
Torched the last one.
Torched?
Yeah, I burnt her ass to a crisp.
Because if a woman claims to be a feminist, she is considered out of the dating market for me. Because men would rather watch society crumble to the ground before dating a feminist. I would rather eat a corn out of a piece of shit before I date a feminist. Fellas, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Okay, let's kind of not really unpack that, but just quickly talk. Damn, how do I always do it? Let's just quickly talk. I wouldn't want to date a feminist. I mean, that's for sure. But at the same time, if you're gonna let a woman be advantageous over you and to manipulate you and to control you into doing certain things, that's on you. You know, you have to learn eventually anyway, but you have to have solid people around you growing up who can teach you about the ways of a human being. Just period, because people are always going to try to get over on you. That's just life, you know, and I think it's very unfortunate, but you have to learn about people and the way they do. Men do it and women do it. And men, we're the best at doing it. Women, they just, you know, they're seen as, oh, you know, more of a weaker vessel so they can get away with it. But men, we try to get the one up on anybody and everybody. That's just our nature. But women, I think y'all need to get yourself together when it comes to feminism. You might want to get out of that type of mentality. It's not going to benefit you. It's definitely not going to benefit the family structure. So with that, y'all, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe, watch, talk, and act. But don't just act. Create solutions. Peace.